Okay, yesterday we talked about the different parts of a plant and their functions, what they do. So today we're going to review with the PowerPoint before your little 5-question check-in. Okay, so we're going to do all about plants. Our objectives today are to explain how plants are alive. What are the major parts of a plant? And we already have some background knowledge because we learned yesterday about it with our diagram. What are the primary functions of roots? What are the primary functions of a stem? What are the important functions of leaves? What is the life cycle of a plant? So let's get started. Are plants alive? We know that from yesterday, right? Plants are alive just like people and animals. How do we know this? Living things all can do certain things, like they grow and die. They need energy, nutrients, air, and water. All living things need these to live. They produce young, so they can make more of themselves. They are made up of cells, and they react to what's around them. What does that mean for a plant? They react? Because plants can't go like that or like that. But think about the weather. If the weather changes, what happens to a plant? Or if it's raining, they react. They grow bigger, right? That's what that means to react for a plant. Plants equals food for all. This is food we get directly from a plant. For example, apples come from an apple tree. The flour used to make bread comes from a wheat plant. Indirectly means not exactly from a plant. Steak comes from a cow. I love steak. And we all know that cows are animals, not plants, right? But what does the cow eat? Plants. This is we get directly from a plant. Eventually we'll get it from a plant. Okay? So again, review major parts of the plant. The flower, the stem, the leaf, and the roots. This is again a diagram. It's showing the parts. Flower, stem, leaf, roots. It didn't have seeds on there like our diagram yesterday, but we're going to talk about them today. Where do plants come from? Plants come from seeds. Each seed contains a tiny plant waiting for the right conditions to germinate or start to grow. Seeds form in fruit. I like this page. We talked about germinate yesterday, but I want to show you a little tip when you're reading. Sometimes when you come across words and there's a comma after it and then the word or, that's the text telling you what that word means. Germinate, comma, or start to grow. So germinate means start to grow. Okay, so when you're reading some harder text and you come across that comma with the word or, then it's telling you what that word means, okay? Roots, all the way down there at the bottom. Roots act like straws, absorbing water and minerals from the soil. Tiny root hairs stick out of the root, helping in the absorption. So tiny little hairs help suck it in. Roots also help to anchor the plant in the soil so it does not fall over, keeps it in the ground. Roots also store extra food for future use. So roots have 4 primary functions. Absorption of water, that means absorbing the water. Transportation of the water, that means moving the water through the plant. Anchoring the plant, holding it in the ground, and storing food. So roots are really important. Now we have our stems. Stems do many things. They support the plant. They act like the plant's plumbing system. You know what plumbing is? It's the pipes for your water at your home. Conducting water and nutrients from the plant in the form of glucose for the leaves, from the leaves to other plant parts. Okay, that's a lot of words. So basically the stems are holding it in the ground and moving the water and nutrients through the rest of the plant. Oh, we don't need that part. So they transport the water and nutrients. They support the leaves, stem, and flowers. They hold all of that stuff up, and they store food. Now we've got our leaves. Most plants' food is made in their leaves. Leaves are designed to capture sunlight, which the plant uses to make food through a process called photosynthesis. That's a nice long vocabulary word, and you're going to learn about photosynthesis a little bit later. But that's one of the jobs of the leaf, is to make the food. So we're just going to go past this a little bit. There we go. Flowers. Flowers are the reproductive part of most plants. Flowers contain pollen in tiny eggs called ovules. And after pollination of the flower and the fertilization of the ovule develops into a fruit. We're gonna learn more about that. This is just sort of an introduction to that part. So the flowers are where they make more of themselves. So how do they reproduce? By wind, insects, and birds. We learned yesterday that insects can pollinate other flowers when they fly around. The wind can blow the seeds around. And we've got the fruit. The fruit provides a covering for the seeds. Fruit can be fleshy, like an apple, or hard, like a nut. Okay, here we see the life cycle of a plant. Seed, sprout, a bud, bloom, flower, new seeds. Remember that sunflower has how many seeds? 1,000. So the life cycle keeps going, going, going. Seed, sprout, bud, bloom, new seeds again. Okay? So what's going to happen next? So that was a good review from yesterday. You are going to take your little check-in quiz on a discussion post. It's on Schoology. Okay. So the directions say match the plant part with its function. We see the 5 parts we learned about yesterday and today. And we see the answer choices. So whatever number 1 is root, whatever matches here for the meaning of root, you would put that letter there. Or write it on a piece of paper, and then you can type it on your discussion post. Okay? So number 2 would be stem. So whichever one explains what a stem is, you would put the letter there, or that whatever that answer choice is, then you would put it on Schoology. Okay? Does that make sense? All right, should be pretty easy because we had a good diagram yesterday, a good book yesterday, and a good PowerPoint today for a review. So that should be a piece of cake. With your diagram, you can either finish coloring it or just put it in your folder that you have keeping your science papers in.